Hey guys, this is gonna be like a recorded version of Saturday. From time to time, if I have time, I will be doing some stock search and how the market is looking right now. I'm just going over some stocks. Um, so I'm just looking at. I'm opening here my IBD stock screeners, and I'm going over some stocks. Oh yes. NTG. ACMR. I kind of like this one here. I'll put like a buy signal on it right on that day. Looks good. With a stop loss right below that area. Overall on ACMR, it looks pretty good. When I look at it on the monthly, it looks really good. On the weekly, yeah, look at that big bar. We just digested those gains and then we flip right back on it. I mean, closing below that 71 area wouldn't be good. You can see it right there. It's flipping right back there. Just keep an eye on it. ZEN. IVI. FedEx. Looks bullish, really good run on it. Just taking time off. MPWR. Qualcomm, Sedge, XLNX. FSLR. Fastly. Fastly, I put like a watch on it right here, around this area. On the monthly, it doesn't look so bad at all. Weekly, despite that huge drop, it's making its way back slowly. Doesn't mean you can forget about the stock. Zoom. It's got froze on me. What else? GD. Looks pretty good. Got a flag in there. LOG. I'll put a signal on it right there. LSCC. RH. Pins. Good move. Good pullback right there. Right in here. Over the 21. That's a good risk to reward ratio. As far as the market, all the indexes looks bullish though. Some of them are breaking all-time high and leading the way, like the IWM. We got a flag here on S&P SPY. Nothing bullish about it. Yeah. IWM breaking all-time high. Look at that monthly. Nothing bearish about it. QQQ a little bit lagging. Trying to break all-time high last Friday. SMH. XLF financial. Doesn't make all-time high because he got hit real bad. But looking on the weekly and the monthly, doesn't look bad at all. Let's look at some big chips. Square, Nvidia. Nvidia's kind of taking some time off here after this huge gains. I wouldn't be entering the stock here though. I'll just chill. Facebook looks making Facebook is making like higher lows here and here and here. Something to watch for. That candle right there, that grabbed my attention right there. Google, really bullish. Nothing wrong with it. It was lagging for a moment, like back in here when the market was crashing, it was really lagging here. Now it looks like it's making some progress, better than a bunch of stocks. Yeah. Netflix, something to watch for. Looking at it on the weekly. It's been digesting this period of time, and I was watching that candle right there. That's what I'm watching. I haven't closed on that below that candle for 3 weeks, so that grabbed my attention. We'll see it. I wanted to start clearing this 65 moving average and the 50. That candle's good right there. Good risk reward ratio. Yeah, something to keep an eye on. Alibaba, another thing to watch. Let's look at it. Not so bad. Weekly, yeah, that big red candle. It's going to be challenging to close right above it. It's 304, it's about 30 point away from it. So yeah, but I like this type of flag action going on here. Yeah, reversed on a decent volume though. Not so bad. Yeah, something to watch for. Watch that 65 or the 50 if it acts as a resistance. If it doesn't break above that 55 and 65, Baba could be in trouble, or it could be in a consolidation for a while. I was watching one of the stocks last day, DXCM. It did had a good run, and let's take all this stuff out. It did had a good run, breakout 171 all the way to 446. I mean, it doesn't mean the stock could just take some time off or go sideways. You know, it's natural for the stock to take some time off. But if you notice here, after the break, right in that area, we went up. Look at that 8 moving average exponential. I told you guys about it a long time ago in one of my videos. So consolidated, had a wedge pattern here. Instead of breaking up, it put a good candle, bullish candle right here, starting to close below it. That's not a good sign. Did it on good volume, and then follow it next day with another huge candle. And then if you notice, the whole time here, the stock just stayed below the 65 and the 50 moving average, and it acted as a resistance to it. So every time it goes up, it gets hit back once here, and then twice here, and then last time it had a good attempt really to break out, and it got hit so bad. But that tells you something, you know. If the stock just it doesn't have that enough power to follow through to break. I mean, you just gotta stay away from the stock. So you have a good consolidation for over like from 9.8 to 10.8, so a month and a half. That tells you the stock doesn't want to go higher anymore. So, and then you can see the stock just crashed right after that. I mean, it might have a chance to go up again, but it's not the time yet. That's not the time. And you can see that the moving averages are kind of flipped. They were right underneath the price, and then when we consolidated here at this period, the moving average came flipped back. So we want to keep that in mind. So yeah, that's what I want to say with Baba here. You can see the moving average is about to flip, so the 50 will go below the 65, the 21 already below both of them, and you want to see if the stock is going to consolidate and break just like DXCM, or it's going to have a chance to break that resistance of these two moving averages. Microsoft looks consolidating. Look at that big candle again. Watch for that big candle. You don't want to close below 200 level. That 200 level will be sensitive, as far as I'm concerned. It will be sensitive. Started to make higher lows here. See that? Something to consider. Just like Facebook, Tesla. Nobody talks to Tesla, man. It's doing its own thing, man. Great volume. On the long run, I won't be surprised to see that stock go into 1,000, to be honest with you. Look at the weekly consolidation on the weekly, and then a breakout, 489 level, and then from there to 585. Put in 100 point in 1 week. Yeah, I wouldn't chase it here. This could be a reversal sign here. So look how far it is from the 21 moving average, and even the 8 moving average. It's kind of like away from it. So just be careful. Be careful. I see somebody join me here. Will Cantarino. I will. Gravy yet? I did not. I mean, I was just talking to myself because this is gonna be like a recorded version. I haven't put in a video in a while, but I just put a chart. I put a chart on it last time. It looks good. It's just the only problem is this is like textbook. The only problem with it is like the volume is kind of low. I got in actually right at that candle, right at 134-ish. Yeah, so I got in right there, and then my stop loss was right below the 50 moving average. And then as it went up this day, I took some off the table, and I'm just letting it run. It looks good though. Textbook, man. And what attracted me the most about it is like I said on my tweets, it never violated that or closed below the 50 moving average. Never. That's actually impressive. Yeah, thanks, Will. Thanks, Will. My whole idea is, to be honest with you, with when it comes to stocks, you just have to find a really low risk point. You know, I'm always open to like new approaches. I don't have to get in right at the breakout, like I did BGNE a while ago. I think I got in right. I got in right at the breakout. Good candle. and then I followed it. I sold most of it right in this area. Yeah, I mean, I'm always open to new approaches, pullbacks on the 21 moving averages. Yeah, yeah. If you have more stocks you want me to cover, you can just throw your questions at me. Um, I'll be happy to answer your questions. Yeah, gravy. Looking at it on the weekly, man, it looks pretty good. Really strong, good volume, all the things that you want actually on a stock. Textbook. And one thing I noticed about it is when it did correct, first time when I found the stock, it never actually corrected as much. Initial starting point was at 68 bucks, went up to 91. 2 weeks consolidation, a little bit over that, and went all the way to 140. So almost like double. And then it had like 3 days of the whole of corrections on a decent volume, and after that, it came right back up. So things like that pulls me, but it kind of pulls my attention. My attention on spot. Bullish. First look on it, looks bullish. I talked to one of my followers on a stock tweets that it had a resistance back here when actually it was it had a flag right here. I mean, not that flag that you're thinking. It's gonna be like a, see, you can see it from here to here, and then it was the 65 and the 50 was acting as a resistance. It was a good entry, good risk reward ratio, and it did good after that. Tested the resistance, came back on a huge volume, came right back up. Right now it looks it really depends on, to be honest with you, it depends on your how do you look at it. Do you want to hold stock? Like, are you a swing trader? What are you, Will? Like, are you a swing trader or a day trader? Or, as far as I'm concerned, it looks bullish. It looks consolidating. Look at the weekly, huge candle, and we just trade in right inside that wick, inside that candle. I mean, you don't want to close below 228, and then I wouldn't chase it here, to be honest with you. I would not. Yeah, I don't know how do you trade, but it looks bullish though. If you want to wait until breakout, or you want to get a startup position, I don't know what's your style, but it looks bullish as far as I'm concerned. It's pretty good. What is wonder what it has, the earnings. I'm gonna check on IBDC when it's having its earning. Has earning on February the 5th. It has a D on accumulation, D plus on accumulation. A relative strength is 89. That's pretty good. Composite rating 50. But still, I really don't rely on IBD numbers right here. I mean, I just want to get a feel of what IBD team are thinking about the stock. But still, like, the price is the ultimate indicator, man. If it's a C or D in accumulation, that doesn't mean the stock is dead. Price is the one who's telling me actually the truth, you know. Yeah, it looks. I wouldn't get in here if it was me. The stock can really run all the way from here, and I don't like to chase them. Yeah, I just don't know about your strategy though, and I don't know how you get into the stock. Yeah, it looks bullish. It looks good. She don't want to start breaking below that level, 244. Otherwise, you're gonna still have some some consolidation. And I always watch when the stocks start doing that, start getting that, making those higher lows right in there. Keep an eye on that. That's when the stock is telling you like it wants to do something, you know. But see here you had that low, and after that you had another low. So that tells you once the stock start closing below and playing around that area of what here was back. Sorry. Here it was 247, 245. You start playing around that area, it tells you that stock still wants to correct. But from here, from 225, now somebody came back and purchased that price and back it up at 231. Now whoever's paying attention to the stock is accumulating more. He does not letting it drop until that price here. If you know what I'm saying. So yeah, those are the things like I like to watch. I use IBD2. SE has never had a good rating, but it's monster. Yeah, I know. And it's still, I think, doing good. SE. C Limited, I know. To be honest with you, C Limited, right before the crash, I was watching it. I was going to get into it like right in here. C Limited. Yeah, I just didn't have the gut to pull the trigger though. It was good setup. It was really good setup. It's a monster, man. Huge. It still wants to go. And one thing again, look at those. Look at the 50. Just like it's acting just like the gravy. GRVY, except that day when it just probably flushed a lot of people. Yeah, right there. Yeah. Crazy. Look at that. Look at the monthly, man. It's just insane. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell if the stock is overextended or just every single stock, man, it acts differently, you know. You can't if somebody says this is overextended or oversold, overbought, I don't go by that, you know, because you never know if the big guys are like want to accumulate more of the stock, or you never know. So yeah, I just keep an eye on the price action. If it's, I don't like to buy out of the top, like you have an extended stock that did not close below the 8 moving average here. So I like for it to come back and see if it's gonna bounce back on the 50, you know, or the 65. I just added recently that 65 exponential. I never had it before, so I just added it to my one of my indicators. Yeah. VIV look extended similarly to SE on the monthly, and the finally pulled back. VIV consolidating. Let's look at the monthly. Yeah. To SE on the monthly. I think SE is it had a huge gains compared to VIV, and finally pulled back. Yep. One thing I would keep an eye on the VIV here. Look how the 65 and the 50 actually are about to flip. So the 50 will go right below that. So because this bar just grabbed my attention here. Just keep an eye on it, and I usually have that biased, not biased, but I just like when stock just drop and just consolidated sideways. So the price action stayed right below the lower half of that candle. That's kind of like bearish to me, just a little bit. I don't know if you're still here, Will. It looks like you're out. I mean, if you can hear me, just type in a I'm still here. Yep. What else? Apple's making that higher lows as well. Keep an eye on that as well. Most of the stock either like they already broke out, or most of them they're taking some time off, like they're consolidating, and some of them are getting ready. Let's keep looking on stocks. I'm going IBD digital and looking for new ideas. See if some stock slips. Bips and sales. I do have when I'm looking at IBD stock screeners, I made like 1, 2, 3, 4 screeners. So I'm looking for a stock that its yearly EPS is over 25%. Stock has to be has at least 200,000 shares, stuff like that, above $10. And I'm having another screener again, filter, that I want the EPS for those stocks, I want them to be over 40. And another screener is only for sales to be over 40, and then another one that combines both of them, the EPS and sales. So those are the filters that I'm looking at right now, and I'm going on FinViz again. FinViz, I have filters that 5% below the highs. I have stocks that have stock that have like I think over 25 or 35 on EPS and sales, or 30%, both of them, or each, and I do separate one. I want the EPS by itself and the sales by itself. Yeah, so, and then another one that I have, I look at from time to time, stocks that are up 60% from their low. So that's another one. So you're trying to have multiple filters. That way, if you miss a stock here, you'll find it in a different filter. The one that I missed the most actually was one of them, FTCH. I was looking at the stock right back here, right in this area. You can still see my my drawing right on this area here when it's trading on 27. I did not pull the trigger on it too. I didn't buy it. It was actually right before when the market started correcting, around 27 and 28, 29, through those 3 days. This one and PGTN, I think. PNTG. Yeah, that one. I bought it. I put an order to buy it, and I kind of canceled it because I bought something else. And this one actually worked pretty well too. Yeah. I didn't pull the trigger on neither of them, but both of them are working pretty fine. All right, let's keep looking. Neo looks bullish. It looks like Will has abandoned us. And TST. Let's refresh this page. Pins, Twilio. Twilio looks good. Weekly, nice pullback on the weekly. Wow, that's 65. Nothing much on this filter. I'm just looking for new stock, something that is gonna catch my attention. EPS 40, AOSL. Lee. And what a move. What a move. Interesting. You never know what stocks will do. You just have to know what do you exit and let them do your thing, man. That's the most important thing to do. You don't know what a stock will do, but you have to know what you exit. Lob. Very. NVTA. I didn't lose hope on this one. I posted on Stock Tweets and Twitter. It looked really good, and they flushed everybody. And I've seen that like happen many times, over and over and over. Man, you get in at a really good point, a decent pullback, and then they flush you right next day. They just gonna scare the heck out of you. It still looks good. It acted actually bullishly right after that flush, right on that day. 2 million. Absolutely, like starting to close right below there, man, it will be bullish before they even break all-time high, as far as I'm concerned. Starting like a small position here wouldn't hurt. Placing the stop right below there at 45.21. I don't know how much is that. To be honest with you, I don't like to risk more than 8 the max. My favorite is like 3 to 5. But yeah, 8 is like I'm pushing it just a little bit. So the high of that candle is 52. Oh no. So you get in, let's say you get in at 50 right at this area. Then breaking below there will, and closing below will be 45 bucks. That's like 10%. Yeah. That's quite a. But if usually when I get into this type of situations, like 10% loss, I'll just break down my position size. Instead of doing 100 share, I'll do like 40 or 50 or something like that, so I wouldn't get hurt a lot. Yeah, but watch that one, NVTA. It looks bullish, man. Looks bullish. What else? What else? What else? What else? Moving back to very LG and CMBM. Quite a move. STRT. Interesting. Never seen this stock before. Oh. I don't like when I see stocks like that, like they already made a move before. It doesn't mean it won't move back up here or halfway, or keep in mind, like this is just me again. This is what I think. If I see a stock that just broke all-time high, or just getting or near resistance, or 5 to 10% below the high, I would like to go to that stock. I would like to go to that stock and probably get into it, comparing to this one. It just like a preference thing, you know. Because the reason why is because traders always gonna look to the left, and you will see what kind of resistance. So every time the stock will go up, you it will hit the previous support of that stock. Let's say this is like it was a support here and here and here. So the stock, when it goes up here, it's gonna have some resistance to it. Comparing to a stock that broke all-time high, and it has like, there's this the void to the here on the top, like there's nothing going on. I mean, there's no resistance, and so the stock's like it has like an advantage comparing to a stock that made a previous move like that. So that's my take on it. But like I said, this is like only a preference. That doesn't mean the stock won't keep going. Plus, this one it's not that liquid. It's trading 6,000. I will stay away from it. 6,000 shares a day, 40. Yeah, you look at it on the daily, and I mean, look at that. Really, it's not liquid at all. So 800 shares per hour. I mean, that's not. Average is 22,000 shares a day. Yeah, I will just stay away from it. Especially if you're getting with heavy position. If you have a bigger account, I will just stay away. TGH. You get flag entry 14. See, I think just like this one, TGH, it had a huge move before, and you have some resistance right in here, and it's here again. So every time you move, you gotta. So if you have a move here, look at that resistance here. So it came back after this flag here. You got to pull, and you got a flag, and then you break out either here or here, and then you move up, and you have the resistance. So everybody's watching it, and it pulled back to the 21. Came back, hit it again. Now look at it. We broke that resistance, which is this line here, and then it moved back down here. So the support became resistance. I mean, resistance became support, and we moved. Stock moved all the way from 15 bucks all the way. Kind of got close to the second resistance, and I pulled back. So that's what I meant by that. LMPX. Same thing here. The stock even like filled the gap and moved a little bit more. Pulled right back. Good entry here. 22 bucks. Let's see. DQ. Good one. I gotta refresh my freeze chart because it's acting up on me. I'm still using the free version though. One day I want to get that. I think they are on a sale right now. I'm keeping an eye on this one on DQ. I don't know why it dropped. It used to be like 79 bucks. So I don't know why it dropped, to be honest with you. I haven't done any research on it. So yeah, I'm keeping an eye on this one. AMTX, transportation, DQ, NSG, GPI, MTSI, GRBK, SYX, computer software. It's making a move. Tesla, TOP. Not my cup of tea. AEIs. Electronics. Big, huge candle. A bit extended on the weekly. Even it's a bit away from the 21. So if you're in it, you're already in it. If you're not, I would just stay away. Not my cup of tea to just get in here or something like that. Net. Congrats if you're in it. at the breakout. 40, takes him off, pull back, kind of reverse, but not clear here. Another gap, solid. BRKS, LAD. I was watching this one here when it made a cup. I mean, it made a. It was just consolidating. Good entry at 266, 270, 265. Key and a sell, I think it was the same thing. Same setup. Fiverr. Fiverr is another monster, man. Here's one of the things I was discussing with a friend yesterday. Look at the monthly, and it really doesn't matter if it's the monthly or the weekly or the daily or the all the stocks act and react the same, man. So let's say you trade into this stock, right? And then after a huge move, I mean, from 65, and it keeps climbing all the way to 146, and you get in this candle here, you'd be like, first thing that's gonna come in your mind, it would be like, oh man, this is gonna reverse. And then some people might jump at it, going short, put in a stop loss right above here or right above it. I mean, right at the high of that candle, reverse candle. I was I used to think about that a while ago, but always watch how that second candle is gonna come right after it. Is it gonna be bullish or is it gonna be bearish? Like if it closes above here like this one, that's bullish, man. That's the stock wants to still pull back. How far? I mean, the stock still wants to push higher. How far? We don't know that. I've seen again situations where the stock closed below here. That will indicate that okay, the stock really wants to pull back, and then you will have like a red candle that closes right below the low of that candle for one candle or two, and the stock will reverse right back up. So the process has to stay the same. Like you put the stop loss here, you got into here as with the bearish call, like you want the stock is going lower, and then it goes lower after that, and then if it does reverse at you, and it closes above here like this candle, just get out of the stock. So your process has to stay the same. Don't say, oh, this situation, that situation, man. If you think about that process of like, oh no, this time is different, this one is strong, it's not gonna work. So you have a strategy and you have to follow it, regardless of what the stock does. You know, just if it does this, you out. If it does this, you still in the trade. So yeah. So just follow the what the market is throwing at you. You know. So that was my take on it. Okay. What else? HZO. It's not a stock I was watching since here for a while. And it's still acting bullish, even though after this huge candle. It challenged it. I think it closed right above it, 33.70. It did. It did close above it. Yeah, 33. It did close actually weekly above it, which is a good sign. Let's look at HZO fundamentals. It has a composite rating of 98 on IBD, 99 APS, 92 relative strength. Industry group is A, and the accumulation distribution is B. I mean, it's really good. As far as the numbers, they're really good. Looking at it on the monthly, here it again. See, we just talked about this. See, you got a reversal candle. We closed below the low of that candle. That means like anybody would think, man, we're still gonna hit lower, and then the stock just consolidated for next month, just sideways, and then pushed higher. That tells you that the stock still wants to go higher, even though like here, well, we closed. What was the low of that candle? 27. Let's say 28. 28, and then we were all the way down to 20. 23. So it was kind of like bearish, but you would expect it to go lower, like at least retrace half of this move from $9 to $32. You know, but the stock is strong, and it just kind of reversed right back up. There's kind of more demand on the stock, which is like from here to here. So you had the reversal from actually from right here all the way down. Yeah, keep an eye on it. IVI. IIVI. Okay, extended here. IPHI. Not a good entry. SGC. RGN. Repligen. Repligen looks good, man. I don't like doing drugs stocks, and believe it or not, last time I got into QDL, and I got in right there, right that day, 281, 280, something like that. And then I woke up the next day, boom, got a 30% loss. So I got stung real bad. So it was like a 30% loss in my position. And it didn't affect me as much because, you know, all my positions are like equal. So, but still like 30% loss compared to what I usually do. My max is like 7. That's a huge loss. And so imagine that I don't really like drug stocks and therapeutic just because of this reason. And then right the day when I actually first time when I bought them, this what happened to me. So I got stung real bad. But it's okay. It's a risk that you take on, and then you just move on. And this is why it's important to have like your portfolio like break out of even. So you don't want to trade this one heavily and the other one is lighter. So you know, keep them the same. So you have $10,000 account, $5,000 account, $1,000 account. Like keep it $100, $100. So if you get hit on one, you won't affect the whole portfolio. So yeah, no more drugs for me. Let's keep going. APS. This one attracted my attention as well. Making that higher lows. Most of the stock that I kind of know, they actually did this move. So they went straight up, including the index Dow Jones. So if I'm pulling the Jones, remember this. Remember we went straight up, and then pulled back, corrected this move 50%, and we moved sideways. So that's exactly what the Dow Jones did. This is the ETF of Dow Jones. Well, the Dow Jones actually didn't even do that. Actually it flagged to the upper half. Didn't even correct like 50%. So you have this move. Most of the stocks it actually went this way, and then they went that way. You're right. So the Dow Jones is kind of like stronger than it's holding right here. That's strong, you know, that's strength for me. But JD I think did the same thing. Majority of them they did. So they went up, pulled back. JD corrected the whole way, and then consolidating right now. So just keeping that in mind. So if you move up, consolidating on the upper half of that candle, you know, it's a bull flag. You know, it just depends on where you're consolidating. Is it the lower half of the pull or the upper half of the pull? That doesn't mean it's 100%. If it's consolidating 100%, if it's consolidating on the upper half of the pull does not mean that the stock will continue higher. Always keep in mind, hey, that energy can always go lower, and so it's not up to you, only because it's been proven before that, yeah, 80% of the time, I always keep that in mind. 80% of the time, this would could happen, and then you take a risk, and you go like, okay, I'm gonna put my stop loss here and there, on a certain moving average, or a certain percentage. Like I do, like 5-3%, 8-7 is the max, even though I don't like reaching that, and then you go from there. I've seen stocks when they really consolidated on the lower half of the pull, and then sometimes they will actually go from there. They will try to challenge the high the top of that candle and then reverse. Okay, they do that sometimes. So either you're consolidating, so digestion in time, like, so you're coming down and then you digestion in time, or you digest in price. So you go up here from the low and you challenge the high that pull, and then you come right down here. But again, my take on is, like, sometimes they just, instead of releasing that energy to the downside like this, from here to here, like that, they will actually release the energy to the upside. It really depends on whoever's buying the stock. I mean, I just kind of laugh when I see people, or just think about, oh, no, it should do this, and it's not up to you, man. Anybody can pick up the phone, some hedge fund or whatever. They just got some news or something, and they know something that majority of us, they don't know, and then they just push the price higher. I mean, it could be that easy, anybody. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Always, like, my approach, and then my understanding to trading really changed when I kept my mind really open. I'm just open to all the possibilities, and let the market do what it wants to do, and just react right after it. If it's hard for you to predict, because not predict, if it's hard for you to do that, like, use some of the moving averages, and for me, like, I waited for the close and I see what and I go from there. It needs some experience, it needs some learning, it needs some staring at charts for a long time. For me, I started just like learning from consolidation, and then waited for the price, and I waited for it to break out, and then I started buying it a little bit, put my stop loss. This is like really when I started back in days, like years ago, and I'm still learning. I'm always open to new approaches, because breakout is not going to work out on a bear market. Absolutely not. If you be like, okay, breakout doesn't work for me. Well, how do you trade breakout? Do you trade breakout when there is a correction, when there is a bear market? Of course they're not going to work out. All of them, they're going to fail. You're like, oh, I traded breakout and they don't work. Man, you traded breakout. How do you define trading breakout? There always has to be like that. There always has to, this is like a breakout too. So you have a consolidation here, and then you have a breakout. You have volume. It really depends. So it's really, that's why I don't like to argue when it comes to trading, because you can make money like in 1,000 different ways. Nobody's right. There's some way, like, something that you do wrong. To the majority of good traders, they will look at that trade and be like, okay, probably if it was me, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, but you can't really argue with somebody. Everybody's different. Keep looking. Let's see. Yeah, always look at the moving averages. Look at how the stock reacts to it. And every majority of the stock, they not, like 100% of the stock, they're not gonna act the same. Most of them, they will act close and about the same, but not all of them gonna be the same. That's why for me, like, I picked up a 21 moving average, and I see sometimes how the stock react right next to it when there's a pullback. So you have a move from here to here, and the stock pulled back right here. Risk to reward ratio. Put a stop loss right there and see what the stock will do. If it comes back, close the position out and try that. In a bull market, see how it does. If you like that, move on. If you don't like it, move on to a different stock or a different approach. Look at this. Look at the 50. Look at the 65. You don't need a 65. You don't need a lot of moving averages. You know, everybody's like they're going to come up with approach that they kind of like you find any personality in it. That's what I'm trying to reach. EMD, I have a position on this one. Look at it on monthly. Is there anything wrong with it? No, I don't see that. You have a consolidation all the way down here. You have a move, consolidation a little bit, and then you have a huge move. Boom. Now what are we having right after that? We have a consolidation. Write all that consolidation, and then you watch what is the stock is acting on these moving averages. On when it comes to moving average right after consolidation, it tends it you tend to see that the stock sometimes will be below those moving averages, especially like the long ones, the 50 and then or the 65, or even sometimes the 100. But if there is going to be a good stock will claim those moving averages quickly. It won't let it, like you won't see that stock trading below it for a while. Like I mentioned before in DXCM, you know, it had a huge drop there. Second day again, another drop, and then the whole 2 months, month and a half, you can see those moving averages right rolled over. Stock had a really problem going above that moving average, and that tends to tell you, okay, the stock wants to go even lower. Now it didn't claim back and then started trading above those moving averages. KL is another one. Kirkland, the stock almost had a wedge here, closed below it, the 50 and a 65. One good, decent moving decent volume. Tried to break above it to claim it back, and then we had a rollover again. Pulled all the way down, away from all the moving averages, came back again. And then when stocks come back to these moving averages, see how they react. So we have resistance here, and then another resistance here. Boom. So just from here to here, that tells me like a huge gap on a huge volume that the stock really had difficult time moving above these moving averages. And from there, I mean, and if you're going to go short, this is like a really good risk to reward ratio. This is not an engulfing, because to me it didn't close way below it, but you always take chances, like your stop will be right above there for short, even though I don't short a lot. I used to short, but it doesn't mean I won't be one short, but just to, I'm just showing you like how I read stock and how I read charts. Everybody's different, but like for me, like I tend to, I used to short when after the stock moved down here or so, but this is like your best bet, I think, from as far as I'm concerned. Some people, they kind of short right on the green day. So let's say the stock here is red, and then next day kind of traded right below here a little bit. On a green day, like they will get on a good price instead of a red day. And the stock they moved from 45 to 45 point. So I hope you guys understand what I'm trying to hint here, trying to give you guys this information. NLS. Let's look at it on a weekly. I mean monthly. Yeah, a different resistance gonna be it. So I like the void. I like if the stock had no previous resistance here. And then you watch when the stock make a move, watch how it's gonna react right on these moving averages. Is it gonna trade here for a while? You know, and then you have a gap here. He's gonna trade here for a while. I mean, like I said, when you're consolidating, it's gonna take time for that 50 to get really close to that 65. But you just watch the price action if the stock is gonna trade below it for a bit and then claim it right back up and challenge the resistance. That's what you want to watch. or is it gonna go, if it is just gonna try it, or that 65 and the 50 will act as a resistance, like you won't let the stock goes up. So that's the things, those are things you want to watch. Shopify is one of the greatest stocks, man. And here's what I'm saying. Like, by all means, this is not a recommendation to buy or sell, man. I'm just telling you. Don't come back and tell me, oh, you seen told me this, you seen told me that. Good price action, consolidating, and then on the monthly, so far so good. We're talking about weekly here. Bounced right at at 21, and challenged the resistance of, what is this, $1,100, support of $880, and still consolidating. So I'll take that as bullish, taking some time off to build some energy. I'm gonna look at it on a daily. So stock, as far as I'm concerned, like once the stock start closing below the 21 for a couple of days or a day or two, I'll usually, I kind of lean to it that the stock wants to rest. That's my take on it. You know, like here. So the stock really wants to consolidate, and then couldn't make it. Broke, I think, yeah, broke the 50. Came back. Came back. Challenged that all-time high. Came back again, all the way to that support. So we have a support. We don't have higher lows yet, just a support. Now, what do you think is happening here? The stock claimed back. We went to like a flag. This is my analogy again. This is by all means not correct or anything. This is what I'm just looking at. Stock is closing and breaking above that 65 and 50. So it's telling me that it's not staying below those moving averages. If it stays below them, like if the 50 and the 65 is acting as a resistance, I will take a kind of like a bearish look on the stock. But hey, it's breaking it. See, going back to that DXCM, it's move this way. It moved up, got rejected, moved up, got rejected, moved up, got rejected. KL, same thing, moved up, got rejected, moved up, got rejected big time. Shopify, do I see that? Moved up all the way. Usually it moved up all the way to challenge the previous high. So as far as, when I if a stock really wants to go lower, you will tend to have lower highs. So if the stock moved, so if this is what was the first high, if the stock wants to go lower, it will actually probably go maybe here, like below this point. So it will be like somewhere right there, and then it will act as resistance, and it comes back. But the stock actually had the bulls actually to check and challenge 1100. You know what I'm saying? And then it came back. So it didn't make the higher lows. I'm just telling you what's inside my head. So this is what I'm seeing. Like, this is what I'm telling myself. And now we're making our way back up and breaking. So that's a positive for me. Breaking above the 65 and the 50. Now, are we gonna break above here? Nobody knows that. But as far as I'm concerned, this is like a positive. Flagging, going up higher. Looking at it in a weekly again. Yeah. We never actually break below and close below that last low. Last low here was 839. Now this is 875, 880. So you get the point. You get the point. Good stock, man. Good company. I haven't done a lot of research, but I'm tend to read on it a little bit. man, but it did really freaking good. I'm gonna look at it in the weekly. Man, look at the chart. It's one of the finest charts, man. It tends to like, so when I looking at it in the weekly, man, look at the 8 moving average will act almost like close to the 50 moving average. Man, look at this move just from here, 48, 93, and then you start closing below it. And this huge moves, man. Once you start closing below that, the 50 or the 21, you can't tell it digest. You get ready again for next move. Boom. And then from here to here. And then lower wedge. This is what I meant by the higher lows. You see? Here, here, breaking here. So you can really tell here that the stock, it probably can roll over. You know, especially you're looking at it on a weekly, you're looking at that volume. You have a reversal candle right down there. So everything is pointing that the stock wants to roll over. That's not a good candle. But until then, anything can happen. You know? I mean, you can go even like if you put like a bearish call on it, you'd be like, oh man, I'm shorting the stock. Just make sure you put a stop loss. You know, you could have put a stop. I mean, you could have shorted right in here and you make some money on the way down here. That's 20 point from 140 to 121. You make some money and then keep a tight stop loss, take some profit off the table. If it rolls back, I like those candles. Sometimes they're like, why? Because those are bullish to me. Stock usually will open lower. See, it did. So we closed on this candle on 122. We opened at 118. So we opened lower and we pushed the stock to over half of this candle, bearish candle. So we closed above 50% of this candle. For me, that's another bullish candle that I like. But again, you shouldn't be taking it, oh, this is 100%, it's going to go up higher. You got to wait for the market to give you feedback. Nobody knows that. Yeah, you have in the back of your mind, this is what could happen. It's a probability. It's an educated guess, but you never know. And then, boom, next week. And after that, this has to change your bias. And once you start closing above the high of that candle, bearish candle, now your bias has to change. Yeah, we did it on lower volume comparing to this here, but I've seen stocks did really good on lower volume. So, and then you let the stock like do its thing. What are we going to be challenging this lower highs? So this is all inside of my head. I'm just telling you what's inside my head. And then boom, straight up. I mean, if you don't really change your mind here, man, you're still stubborn, you know? I mean, I used to be that person. I used to be like, no man, this could happen. This could not happen. So yeah, that's a good candle. You can put even stop loss right below it and go long. The biggest challenge for me when I was back then trading is like switching the ability to switch my mind from bearish to bullish. Man, you're not losing anything, man. Stock was bullish yesterday, now today is bearish. Stock is bearish today, next day was bullish. That's how you should think about it. Again, it's my opinion and I'm entitled to it, and that's what made me kind of make some progress on my portfolio. And then from there, you just watch the stock. Take some off the table. You got in here. You got in early. 170. You got in at the break. Moved to 205. That's 35 points. Take some off. Let the rest ride. Boom. Look at that. Boom, 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 boom. Man, that is insane. We're talking about like 2019 here. You take some off the table. And you let the rest run. Boom. You can even exit here if you want. 338. That's insane. That's insane. And you let the stock trade consolidate and let it just wait for it. This is how I used to study chart, and this is how I think you should be studying chart. Like, you have a process, you know when to get in, you know your max loss, you know where to put it. If it's your stop, let's say you put in a stop here, even though like it's too much compared to what you got in here, reduce your position. You have a process in place, just follow it. Let the stock give you feedback, and then you adjust, and then you manage your trade along the way. And then that's it. You do it over and over again. That's it. Stock breakout, breakdown, right here, and then let the stock consolidate or break down or set itself up again. Stock challenge didn't even give it chance to do a decent setup. If you don't like it, just don't get in. Don't get in. I mean, if you miss it, that's not the end of the world. You know, you don't miss it. That's fine. Just wait for it to set up. Consolidating. I think this is where we are right now. Consolidating. The longer consolidation, the better the next move will be at. That doesn't mean it cannot go lower. Always keep that mind open. Open possibilities. But as far as I'm concerned, it wants to go higher as of today, because whoever's holding imagine this. I always tell this myself. Whoever's holding this good position, like, still didn't sell most of it. Like, anytime, man, the day of the month, anytime they can like, okay, I made so much money, I want to get out, and then he will start selling, and he will be stuck to the thought of, oh no, the stock closed above this and that, and then it has to go. No, nothing has to do. I mean, if stock was breaking down, it's breaking down. You know, yeah, that's how easy you should be thinking. That's how your mind should be. You know, anybody can go to their account and start selling, and you'll see the stock tanking, and you'll be asking questions like, why there's no news? No, when I got into QDell, I think it was the time when they were releasing vaccines news. There was no news as far as the QDell. Somebody just all of a sudden decided to sell their position. Boom. Did I ask questions? I got out immediately. Boom. That's it. I claimed my loss and I moved on. Swallowed my pride and moved on. You know, I learned my lesson not to trade this stock, which still, like, there's nothing wrong with them. Stock could have still backed up here. I mean, gapped up. But I think Pfizer, like, they're the one who came out with the news, and they said their vaccine works really well and all that. So, and the stock just tanked. That's it. I mean, you shouldn't even be asking questions. That's my take. That's how I trade. HZNP. I tweeted about this stock right on this day when it kind of like break below the 50 moving average, and I said this could be a good correction. So I was watching the stock way back here, right here, $28 level. And then stock breaks the 50, good volume right here, and then you watch how the stock is reacting. So here I'd be like, okay, stock really is doing good. Stock is just probably flushed everybody on this here. So let's say you're not watching that, you're just watching this. Stock dropped, closed below the 50, right? Good volume. Okay, so you're saying, okay, the stock really had a good move from the 28, well, probably from here, from when we started the whole uptrend thing, from $35 all the way to 75. That's 100% move. Stock probably is correcting, and then next day, boom, right after like 2 weeks maybe of trading, it really broke. Somebody just bought it, and then you'll be like, okay, I'm really having a good I'm going from bearish to bullish. Well, this is another thing that I want to tell you guys. You're gonna learn. You're gonna have to learn. You're gonna have to learn, and you must learn if you want to be a good trader. What is the pivot points that tells me, okay, this is the stock that once it started breaking this or closing above this, or it did this, there's like a pivot price, a pivot point that once it breaks that price or below that price, okay, my bias has changed from this to this. You really have to learn that. For me, I would say like, okay, so once you start closing or trading below the lower that candle, this break up candle, something is going on. And then you wait. Okay, you'll be like, okay, we're probably just digesting this candle here. Some people, they just get in right at this candle. Different approach. They put their stop loss right below here. Different approach again. And then, well, that candle has just changed everything. Now, this candle just canceled all that candle, regardless of the volume. So you're going from bearish to bullish to bearish. And I'd be like, okay, now really have to, when is my bias gonna change? Probably closing again on the top of here will be bullish. Other than that, we're still bearish. And then you follow the stock. Okay, we had a good reversal, but still, it doesn't mean that the stock won't, like it won't go down. But this is my pivot point as far as I'm concerned. And then you'd be like, okay, this is my this is the if it comes to here and start closing below that price, which of $82 or $83, then I'll be like, okay, this has to be now we're gonna flip our bias to bullish. This is again me. This is what's going on inside my head. And then we'll watch it. And then you will be watching this moving averages, the 21 to 50, and then you'll see how the stock price is acting. Most of the time the 50 will and the 21 will act. They will flip like they did right here, and they will act as a resistance. Sometimes it will poke right through or close above these moving averages the next day or next couple of days. It will flip. If it's bearish, it will flip right back in. And look how the stock is behaving. Like, it didn't even bother to close above the 8. That's it. That's my thought process. I really hope that helped you. Now, did I understand this in 2 days? No, I didn't. First of all, it took me a long time to understand it. Different approaches, listening to different people, buying multiple courses, putting a lot of time into it. It's not easy. It just takes time. And if you think about it, like, this is one of the first thing you have to learn. When the stock is going up, it's trending higher, bullish market, whatever index, the moving average will look like that. It will look exactly like this. We have a lower wedge, and then everything, all the moving averages right here. So the 8 below it is the 21, below it is the 50, and so up and so on. Well, when we're going lower, everything will flip. Again, this is like a simple concept. But, when it's really after the fact that when everything happened, you'd be like, oh man, look at here, all the moving averages flipped. I mean, they're lagging a little bit, but you have to look what happened here, like right down here. Yeah, the moving average kind of flipped in here. That looks bearish. And we have a reversal candle. Somebody start buying. You can make some kind of gains in here from 34 all the way to 36.85. You make some gains. Once you start closing below here or here, this is your first signal, like something's going on here. And then from there, like, all the moving averages flip. Yeah, it's simple concept, but when you put it in real time, that's when you become really genius. I believe in simplicity, It's not easy, but it's just hard. I mean, with practice, it might comes along. So this is the reversal candle right there. We tried 68.850 is the low. 69. We still haven't closed below that, but starting to close right below that candle, man. It did even challenge it. 67. We dropped below it, came back. Yeah, but it's gonna be really weakness. We have a gap here. That means we can still go down here, fill the gap, and come back. You really don't know what's coming up, but you see a pickup on red volume. So you have to keep in mind. All right, what else? It looks like Mr. Will had left us already a while ago. What else? PFSI. What do you guys think? All right, so with all this information that I just told you, what do you guys think? PFSI, how is it acting? You start looking at it on a monthly. Again, this is my process, and you're entitled to do your own process. I'm just trying to help here. Like if you already have knowledge, or you have, I'm just trying to help as much as I could. Monthly looks bullish. Look at all the moving averages, right? You're going on a weekly. Still, we have those moving averages one on top of the other, so it's still going acting bullish. Stock dropped, closed that week right below it, kind of closed below another week, barely closed on just 80 cents for 90 cents, and then from there just moved sideways. Tried to push lower, but the bulls came in and pushed it back. Going on the daily, now that 50 is acting as a resistance. Look how many times, even we have like almost like a reversal here, one here, and then one here. But the price action is really, if I have a candle that closed below that candle here, I will probably say, oh, it's bearish, but it's really, it's like a draw, especially that red candle. We just almost trade in, not in the middle, but on the upper half of that red candle. Starting to close above that 50 moving average, then my bias will change. I'll be like, okay, so now it's like, I would say like almost like 45 to 50, almost like bullish 55% and bearish 55, even though the whole setup thing, it's acting like a bearish. But keep in mind, look at the price action, look what's happening. So we're challenging that 50 MA simple moving average, starting to close above it. Now we'll be like, okay, now it's wants to go higher. But hey, if it comes back next day and flip, now again your bias should change. All right, I hope this helped you guys. I'll be trying to be here almost, it's been a while I haven't make a video. I'll try to be here Saturdays or maybe Sundays, but I see probably most of the time when I go live, I don't see nobody on Saturdays. If you guys want me to go Sunday maybe at a different time, you just let me know in the comment. I'll try to do my best to be in that time. But yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm not a pro trader, but I'm just learning still like you guys. Alrighty, hope this is gonna be helpful. Give me a like, give me a thumbs up, help your brother grow the channel. I know it's been a while, I haven't posted a video. I was just learning a little bit about options, from spread, vertical spreads, and here and there. Never stop learning. Learning new approaches from different traders and all that. Trying to gather as much information as I can. It's a bull market. I won't be surprised if I see it going really good for next year or so. Price action is the ultimate indicator. Watch your volume. You can get some help from the moving averages, but don't depend on it. And that's it. All right, guys. You take care.